Chapter 3. He held an empty can of beer in one hand and a beat-up sign in the other. Traffic on Charleston was blocked. The man stumbled and then leaned over the hood of a Chevy Colorado. Empty beer cans cluttered the street. The driver of the truck blasted his horn. The drunk man regained his footing, took a few steps, and then tripped. A Mexican jumped out of his car and helped the man to his feet. It took quite an effort to drag the drunkard from the intersection. Carly sat in snarled traffic. Blue and red lights flashed up ahead. She could see a Las Vegas police officer talking to a disheveled street person. She waited impatiently until the traffic finally cleared. An officer had the man in the back of the police car when Carly drove by. For an instant, she locked eyes with the man. His face pressed against the window, making him almost unrecognizable, but Carly knew. Her heart raced. It was him, her brother, Ray. After years of searching and chasing after a brother who she wasn't sure still lived, Carly finally found Ray sitting in the back seat of a police car on the corner of Charleston and Rainbow. Before she had the chance to pull over, she banged into the car in front of her. It was only a minor collision. Carly wished she had paid a little more attention to the road. A moment later, the driver behind her slammed into her while trying to take a photo of the officer that had subdued Ray. A loud crunch, a hard jolt, and the deployment of Carly's airbag startled her. Carly worked frantically to open the car door. It had been crushed and remained jammed shut. The fire department took a long time to free Carly. They gave priority to the vehicle that had hit her and to its driver, who had sustained multiple injuries. After the police finished their report, Carly called Uber to drive her to the police station. She met with a desk officer who tried to be as helpful as possible. Her brother was listed as a John Doe and had been dropped off at the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center. The center provided help to people like Ray. Why would an intoxicated person not be safely secured in the drunk tank? Carly asked. The answer was short and simple. This is Las Vegas, no room. The drive to the resource center only took 10 minutes. The Uber driver pulled over near the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fourmaster. Carly had seen it before in Portland, Los Angeles, Seattle, and a lot of other West Coast cities. Homeless people lined up, waiting for a meal, staking their claim to a spot on the sidewalk hours before the meal was served. Carly had no fear of the people she walked past. Some looked threatening, but most were just people with issues such as alcoholism, drug abuse, and mental illness. To get to the information office at the resource center, Carly had to walk near a construction site and then weave her way past the people who were huddled together like cattle. The situation confused Carly, and if not for the help of a lady pushing a wheelchair loaded with blankets and other personal items, she would have had a difficult time knowing where to go. Carly thanked the woman and headed toward a small office. She took an appointment card and waited on a bench for her turn to talk to one of the workers. Carly kept her eyes down, only looking up occasionally, in the hope of seeing her brother. The lady sitting next to Carly had on new sneakers. She was well-groomed compared to most of the other people waiting for assistance. The one thing that convinced Carly that the woman was indeed in need of help was the grime under her scuffed fingernails and her dirt-stained fingertips. Carly removed a photo from her pocket and asked, "Have you seen this man?" "Oh yes, the other day. In the hole." The lady looked out the window and pointed to the construction workers on the corner. "He was talking to Steven Spielberg. Spielberg wants me dead. I know too much. Too much. Spielberg." The lady's rant was interrupted. A black woman started singing Proud Mary. A gray-haired, toothless lady joined in. She snapped her fingers in rhythm and sang on key. The song oozed soul. Carly wondered if perhaps at one time the duet had sung at some of the nearby Las Vegas clubs. She then thought about Ray. When her brother was a kid, he liked to sing songs, make jokes, and tease her. He was 2 years younger than her. From her earliest memories, he had always been there. He was the kid with the big smile, the kid who could make her laugh at the silliest things, the kid who teased her about her first boyfriend. Carly waited for over an hour. She was getting frustrated when finally a young man called her into the office. He explained that if homeless people want help, they would offer them the tools needed to start a new life. There was counseling available, access to clean clothes, meals, and a hot shower. She interrupted and told him she was familiar with the services the center could offer, but that she just wanted to know how to go about finding her brother. She explained the circumstances. He escorted her to a large covered area close to the office. "This is where most people come to spend the day. Feel free to look around and stay as long as you like." He turned and rushed back to his office. Carly had seen it before, people sitting against a wall or on a crowded bench, some talking to themselves, others walking aimlessly. She made several passes around the courtyard, carefully searching for Ray. She held his picture in front of her, but few people seemed interested enough to take a look. Exhausted, Carly sat down and leaned against the wall. She held the picture up in her lap. It was visible to the people walking past. Her eyes felt heavy, and soon she fell asleep.